Welcome, and thank you for joining for another whiskey review. Today, we're going to take a look at the Rhetoric 20 versus 25, both 45% ABV, and we're going to compare these two since they're pretty similar whiskeys. Let you guys give you guys our opinions on whether or not 5 years was worth it.
Well, here's the better question: does bourbon get over oaked when you go past 20? Is it already over oaked? And God, why did they even just think about doing it? For you guys not aware of the Rhetoric series, they released a 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25-year-old whiskey. And they even sort of like hinted about the level of oak by showing us this photo, which you guys can see here. Mike, so you can see that. And you'll notice the 25, way darker.
Oh, you're right. I didn't notice that before.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they darkened up the label.
They progressively got darker, although I will say the 21-2 are pretty close to the 20, so I don't know if they just didn't think about it until they got near the end, or if that was intentional.
So we got bookends here.
The bookends, exactly.
All right, let's take a look at the 20 first. Sweet, nice. God, nice.
Candied vanilla. Oh, my goodness.
That is definitely not over oaked.
No, this is absolutely gorgeous on the nose.
I mean, when you say 20 and 25-year-old bourbons, you get scared fast.
Fear retracted, right, Mike? Just that smells amazing.
Amazing.
I mean, it's got the leather, but it's like the sweetest vanilla leather. There's also like a heavy apple here.
Caramel, apple, pie,
Oh, yeah.
leather belt.
Yeah, I mean, a little tobacco note, but again, this is all sweet. Mm-hmm. This is lovely.
Beautiful whiskey on the nose.
This is everything I want in a bourbon.
Sweet corn.
I mean, I guess I'd like a little more proof, but hey.
Yeah, definitely a little more proof, but it smells wonderful.
I'll say this.
It isn't over oaked.
No, they didn't ruin it here on the nose. Way
Darker.
more leather.
Yeah, darker.
Darker leathered armchair.
A little more wood chip. A little more type of burnt note.
So if this was like a really nice like leather jacket that's like super soft and subtle, this is a bomber jacket that's been dried out.
Harriman's jacket.
Yeah.
A little salt in it. Not that it has salt in it, but just to give you a visual.
Yeah, there's a good fruitiness on the 20. I'm not getting much fruit on the 25.
25 is a lot darker.
Rich, like creme brulee vanilla. Mm-hmm. French vanilla beans.
Yeah, some type of French whip or some exotic coffee. Coffee bean, maybe.
There is a nice wood smoke here. I'm already starting to think that your traditional bourbon drinker might nose this and be a little offended by that note, because a lot of bourbon drinkers don't like smokiness because if they don't like peat especially. Mm-hmm. I like that smokiness here.
That's really the biggest difference between the 20 and 25. The cask got a little overdone.
Yeah, I definitely could see somebody nosing that and thinking it's overdone. I think it's a nice change of pace.
I agree. We like Isla whiskey, so it's not offensive to us.
But the 20 is definitely the aromatically more appealing, sweeter. That said, it's almost too sweet to some degree.
I don't see what it is on the palate, doesn't.
Go right ahead. Like I said, I think that it's, again, from we said the Scotch drinker might levitate towards this 25. They might find the 20. I know Mike often is like, ooh, that's a little too sweet. The nose here is definitely a little cloying.
No, good caramel, full, rich. The caramels and vanillas. Mm-hmm. Good oak.
Oh, man.
Strong vanilla here on the finish.
Really nice oak note.
Mm-hmm. Really nice oak note. A little bit of furniture polish here at the end, too, with the vanilla.
Heavy furniture polish, for sure. Actually, it's one of my favorite notes on the Rhetoric series. Mm-hmm. I've had a 22 and a 23. Mm-hmm. I just figured we'd do the bookends because
that makes sense.
4 of them would be, I actually don't have a 23, but I had a 22 and I was like, if it was a 23, maybe.
It's a lot.
Exactly. I was like, that's too much to drink.
If it's Catalan or special edition Lagavulin, and fun.
Yeah, but I mean, this isn't. The money's just $3,000 now if you want to buy the whole series in like a special wood finish set.
Yes.
Which is cool, but I have a lot of my. A little more than I want to pay.
No, actually, there's a lot I like there. I love that vanilla and furniture polish finish to it. It's a long finish.
Yeah.
Like it's got good oak. It's got good stick to it.
Impressive finish for 45%.
I hadn't said that. You're right. It comes off thicker and more viscous and longer lasting than
beautiful.
45.
I mean, it just lights your palate up with flavor.
The older bourbons get, though, I tend to see that like the mouthfeel of them isn't as drastically affected by ABV the way Scotches are.
I agree. You can definitely go lower on older bourbons, and I think adding that like extra water can kind of help hide some of the oakiness because the 20 has a good bit of oak.
So. I would imagine that oak had a lot to do with his ABV. I would imagine if they bottled this first, they would have maybe dialed it down even more.
Yeah. I can tell you this, Mike. I don't know if they're telling us the bottle count on these or if this is the bottle, but it looks like it's written out. So they did one for each.
Uh-huh.
This is bottle 53,327. It's a huge release. And the 25-year, I think it's similar.
12. Really? That big?
Well, again, this is the bottle.
Oh, yeah.
This is 58,000.
Wow.
500.
They had that many barrels go the distance. They had to water those down significantly.
Well, and this is the whole Orphan Barrel thing. These are closed distillery that Diageo bought the distillery, and they got the barrels with it.
Diageo?
Diageo owns these, yeah.
Animals.
You know Diageo are now monsters in bourbon, too? All right, so 25-year-old Mike.
I need to take that company over. I tell you what, I know some people could say this is too much oak or too burnt. I really enjoy the smell. Taste?
So, if I had to complain about the 20, that was a little thin up front. 25 fixes that. It's even richer, oilier up front. Beautiful sweetness. Now, the finish is stinging, oaky. Definitely see where somebody is going to say it's over oak. First time I had this, not this bottle, but this particular release was many years ago. And I kind of agreed with some people that maybe they'd over oaked it. But I got to say, Mike, I'm really happy with this. It actually added a layer of depth and complexity. Gave it some nuance here. Gave it a little longer finish. I can see somebody complaining, but I like this leathered, oaky, earthy kind of quality that it's coming out of this one.
Someone kicked over a bucket of molasses, too.
Oh, good. Yeah. It's gotten darker sweetness, too.
That molasses, honey, darkness to it at the end. Woo!
They did not mess this up with it.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm ready for the Rhetoric 30 here after this one, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's way darker. Way darker. I really enjoy it. You know what I mean? This is a more traditional what you would think bourbon in general.
Yes. This is if you like Pappy Van Winkle, if that's like your dream whiskey, this is actually not far off of like a Pappy 20-year-old in profile. In fact, it might really compete well with it on nose and palate. 25 is its own animal. It's nothing like the 23. It is its own thing.
Yeah, no, 20 is very, very dark. This is like the difference between Kahlua 30 and 35.
Yes.
Like one is very much what you expect. I like Kahlua, in this case, a bourbon. 35 is like, man, it's got dark.
Yes.
And for the difference in age, which is, 20% or whatever. All right, 25%, I guess probably how you look at it. If you're dividing or multiplying.
You multiply 1.2, yes.
Yeah. So I would say, it's similar to those whiskeys. But again, I prefer darker, dirtier.
It's 25 anyway.
Oakier. Yeah, 1.25.
Yeah.
I didn't want to correct you.
I was like, as soon as I said it, I was like, should I?
I said it's either 25 or 20, depending on if you're
dividing,
multiplying, depending on how you look at it. That's not finance degrees were super boring. All right, anyway. We add some water to these.
Ooh, it got like oilier even, believe it or not. Richer on the 20.
Oh, that helped.
Yeah, it took it from like a little bit of apple notes to like, no, this is like creamy.
Just apple pie
custard
with some type of syrup drizzle on top. Caramel syrup drizzle on top.
Oh, yeah.
Caramel apple pie. A caramel lattice apple pie.
With like a really heavy cream, like vanilla cream on it.
Ice cream on the side, a la mode.
Yeah. It ain't
French
cream.
vanilla with French bean or vanilla bean ice cream.
Yeah.
Right?
Darn it.
That's a really good bourbon. I mean, this is more my style, but I mean, that is... There's nothing I complain about.
And then on the finish, it's got a little bit of leather spice, which I love, man. It's like getting in a new leathered car. Like,
sometimes Orphan Barrels are complete misses. Not these.
I haven't... well, some of the recent ones, but the original ones, when they were legitimate...
Right. That's what I mean. Yeah, lately they've been kind of taking the compass box route.
They're just kind of going on their own thing. But anyway.
Anyway. All right, one more step.
Oh, and shit. Oh, tasting it first? All right, cool.
Yeah, smell and taste them with water. Let's just wrap it up.
All right.
Beautiful, nothing wrong with it. Excellent bourbon. I would drink this all night long.
Oak notes came up just slightly more with water, just for anybody who is questionable on the oak.
I love this burn char note on this. I'm with 25.
Dude, It got more interesting. Again, this is what I love about bourbon. This is something I can't compare to. This is the bourbon I love, and like it's my happy place.
Oh,
this is a whole different. This is like a different kind of whiskey.
if you're a traditional bourbon lover, you're gonna love this whiskey.
Yeah, but I can't even think of what you compare this to, Mike. It's just its own thing.
Yeah, a very heavily charred version of an old bourbon.
Charred toffee and burnt caramel and burnt vanilla. But like not overdone, just like browned. Let's taste this thing. Okay, maybe got a little too tannic there. It's a little
With water, it hit a
the tannins came out a little too much. Still up front though, it's delicious.
Yeah.
I mean,
and the linger's good.
rich. Oh yeah, finish is long. I definitely think I like this one with a drop of water. I like this one neat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they
Let's get to it, Dustin. Comparison series.
Yeah.
We used to call it
my
that.
bottles.
My bottles, I go first. I mean, look, man, you
Know
know
the rules, by the way.
Yeah.
Price
Oh,
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's just what would you have somebody give you a pour at the bar?
Yeah, if someone else pick up the tab at the bar,
Yep.
and people have said things like, "Well, the novelty of one," because I haven't had it. Now,
Yeah.
look, if you just want to go for taste, that's what we're getting at.
Yeah. That's
This-
noted. They made a shit ton of both. So.
Yeah, this is a great bourbon. I would drink this, but man, this is my profile. This is my flavor profile. It's dark, it's dirty, it's not over oaked. I would definitely drink it neat, but it's 45%. That isn't a shock. You know what I mean? That's not. I could have guessed that before I did the review. So for me, I would pick the 25. If you like traditional bourbon flavors, as we said many times in this review, you probably prefer the 20. But for me, 25.
Yeah.
Dustin,
I have never been more torn in my life.
it's not an easy choice.
And here's the reason, Mike. This is everything I love about old bourbon,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't really get old bourbon like this anymore. They're just so hard to get.
Mm-hmm.
This, which by the way, I got way too recently for it to be this low. Because this is a fairly new bottle, actually. This is my second bottle of the 20s, and it wasn't that long ago I got these either. Like, these are over a year. This one is this year. I love them both. I am going to say today I'm taking the 25, but I feel like most days I kind of lean towards the 20. So today we're going 25. This is the first time I've actually done them versus like this.
Yeah.
So maybe I always would pick the 25, but
There's nothing off-putting here at all. This is an excellent
I mean,
whiskey.
again,
This is actually a
that's
closer
such a-
comparison.
yeah.
It just comes down to personal profile choice.
It really
It's not
does.
like one's a 90 and one's an 86. Like, these are right there.
And you know what? If you have them both, guys, I bet you the blend is even better.
We should try that.
I mean, we're here.
Go.
Shoot, let's do it.
Tastes like a mix of the two.
Yeah, it's right. It's dead on. It's like they brought down that leather. We brought out a little bit more of the sweetness.
It tended more towards this one. This lost a little bit of its character.
I'm still getting a lot of smoke, man.
It's good. It's a good way.
I'm still getting a lot of that wood smoke.
I might drink this one.
I guess we need a 23 to finalize it. But
Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty good. Again,
Yeah.
but yeah, this is more my profile in my opinion. But people here know my
no.
profile.
Yeah, this is probably more what I generally like profile-wise, but there's something about that darkness before water that I was just absolutely in love with.
It's just like Kahlua 30 and 35. Like Kahlua 30 was an excellent whiskey.
It was.
Like it was Lafroig 20 or it was the Talisker 25 cast strength reincarnated.
Oh,
This one was 35. Like I didn't know it get this dark, but I love it.
yeah.
Anyway, those are our thoughts on this particular comparison. Orphan Barrel 20-year compared to 25. You guys say try either one of these. Let us know what you guys think. Dustin, until next time, we'll
That's the absurdly old whiskey drinking.
see you then.